What if the secret to success wasn't talent, luck, or hard work, but how you start your day? This audiobook reveals the morning routines of the world's top achievers and how you can use them to unlock unstoppable focus, energy, and momentum. Your future begins at sunrise. Are you ready? Introduction. What if I told you that your entire future, your success, your wealth, your health, your happiness, depends on the first hour of your day? What if I told you that the difference between millionaires and those who stay stuck isn't just luck, talent, or intelligence? It's the way they start their mornings. Right now, as you read this, you have a choice. You can continue waking up each day reactive, overwhelmed, and behind before you even begin. Or you can take control, design a morning routine that primes your brain for peak performance, and watch as your entire life transforms faster than you ever imagined. The world's most successful people, CEOs, athletes, billionaires, don't just wake up early for fun. They wake up early because they understand that the first few hours of the day are the most powerful, most valuable, and most strategic moments of their lives. They don't waste them. They use them as weapons. And if you want to get ahead, to break free from mediocrity, to finally start winning at the game of life, you need to do the same. This isn't just another book telling you to wake up early and drink green tea while journaling about your feelings. This is a battle plan, a strategic, step-by-step system designed to take you from struggling and exhausted to focused, energized, and unstoppable. A method so powerful that once you implement it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. By the end of this audiobook, you won't just wake up early. You'll wake up with power, purpose, and a plan to dominate your day before the rest of the world even opens their eyes. Are you ready? Because once you know these secrets, there's no going back. Why mornings define success and productivity. The biggest lie you've been told is that success happens randomly. Some people just get lucky, work hard, or stumble into wealth and happiness. The truth? Success is predictable, and it starts the moment you wake up. Imagine two people. Person A wakes up with purpose. They start their day with clarity, focus, and a set routine that builds momentum before 9 a.m. Their mind is sharp, their energy is high, and their body and brain are fully engaged. By the time they get to work, they've already won. Person B hits the snooze button 3 times. They roll out of bed in a fog, immediately bombarded by notifications, emails, and social media distractions. They rush through their morning in a daze, constantly behind, constantly exhausted. They start the day on the defensive, reacting instead of controlling. Now here's the punchline. Person A and Person B live in the same world. They have the same 24 hours, the same potential, the same opportunities, but one of them is winning and the other is falling behind. Which one do you want to be? Science has proven that your brain is at its peak in the first few hours after waking up. This is when your cognitive function is highest, your problem-solving skills are sharpest, and your ability to focus and make high-impact decisions is at its maximum. But if you waste these hours on autopilot, scrolling through social media, rushing through breakfast, reacting to emails, you're throwing away your best shot at success. Your morning is the foundation of your entire day, and if you build it right, success becomes automatic. The hidden potential of a strong morning routine. Let me ask you a question. If you had 1 extra hour each morning, dedicated purely to your growth, your goals, and your success, what could you do with it? Could you finally start that business you've been dreaming about? Could you master a skill that 10x's your income? Could you get in the best shape of your life? Could you develop the discipline and mindset of the world's top performers? Now imagine not just 1 hour, but 2, 3, or even 4. A strong morning routine isn't about waking up earlier. just to suffer through exhaustion. It's about waking up strategically, aligning your morning with the exact habits and rituals that high achievers use to dominate their industries. What does that look like? A morning that gives you energy instead of draining you. A structured approach that eliminates decision fatigue. A sequence of habits that compound daily into massive success. When you own your mornings, you own your life. It's that simple. Overcoming the most common excuses for not waking up early. I know what you're thinking. I'm not a morning person. I don't have time. I've tried before, but I always fall back into bad habits. I need my sleep. I can't function without it. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. No one is born a morning person. It's a skill. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. It's about priorities. You don't lack discipline. You lack a system. This book isn't about sacrificing sleep. It's about optimizing it so you wake up feeling powerful, not exhausted. Every successful person who mastered their mornings once struggled with the same excuses you're making right now. The only difference? They didn't let excuses control their future. This book will show you exactly how to break through every single obstacle standing between you and morning mastery. What to expect from this audiobook? This isn't just another self-help book. This is a blueprint, a step-by-step guide designed to make morning success automatic. Inside, you'll discover the science of peak performance mornings, so you can stop guessing and start winning. The exact routines used by billionaires, CEOs, and elite performers, and how to apply them to your life. The sleep-wake optimization method, so you wake up feeling refreshed and powerful. The ultimate time management hack that makes morning discipline effortless. How to destroy morning procrastination forever and build unstoppable momentum. By the end of this audiobook, you'll have a foolproof system that makes waking up early and owning your day second nature. No more snooze button. No more wasted mornings. Just relentless momentum, unshakable confidence, and results that speak for themselves. Your time to wake up and win is now. Every morning you wake up without a plan is a wasted opportunity. Every day that starts in chaos is a day that could have been different. But here's the good news. You can change that, starting today. Right now, you're standing at a crossroads. You can keep doing what you've always done and keep getting the same results. Or you can take control of your mornings and build a life that most people only dream about. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment to take control. Are you ready to wake up and win? Because once you start, you'll never look back. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why Mornings Matter. The science behind early rising and productivity. The way we begin our morning is not merely a routine. It is the foundation upon which the entire day is built. From the moment we open our eyes, the choices we make dictate our energy levels, cognitive abilities, and emotional stability. Science confirms that our brain functions at its peak during the early hours of the day, thanks to the body's natural circadian rhythms. These internal clocks govern our sleep-wake cycle, influencing everything from mental clarity to hormonal balance. The brain, after a full night's rest, is in its most refreshed state, making mornings the prime time for deep thinking, problem-solving, and creative pursuits. The prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making and focus, is at its sharpest, free from the fatigue and clutter that accumulate as the day progresses. This is why some of the world's most successful individuals, entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and leaders, prioritize their morning routines, treating them as sacred windows of opportunity. They understand that what happens in the first few hours of the day has a ripple effect, influencing productivity, mood, and overall success. When we wake up early and follow a structured morning routine, we set ourselves up for heightened efficiency throughout the day. Studies show that morning people tend to be more proactive, demonstrating a stronger sense of responsibility and planning skills. This is not merely a coincidence, but a direct result of how early risers optimize their time. While the world is still quiet, distractions are minimal, allowing for focused work and deep introspection. This is particularly crucial in a world filled with digital noise, constant notifications, and endless demands on our attention. By leveraging the stillness of the morning, we gain a mental edge, approaching the day with clarity and intention, rather than reaction and chaos. Furthermore, early mornings offer a unique advantage, a natural state of discipline. When we commit to waking up early, we develop the ability to override short-term comfort for long-term gains. This discipline transcends beyond just waking up. It infiltrates every aspect of life, strengthening resilience, willpower, and self-mastery. A well-structured morning routine becomes a microcosm of success itself, a practice in consistency, delayed gratification, and intentionality. In contrast, starting the day haphazardly, snoozing the alarm multiple times, and rushing through the morning in a state of stress leads to a downward spiral of disorganization and inefficiency. The difference between a powerful day and an unproductive one often lies in the first hour after waking up. How your brain functions in the morning. The first moments upon waking are governed by a unique neurochemical state that significantly impacts the trajectory of our day. Upon rising, cortisol levels, a hormone associated with alertness, are naturally elevated, helping us transition from sleep to wakefulness. This surge in cortisol is part of the body's natural circadian rhythm, ensuring that we are energized and ready to face the day. However, what we do during this time dictates whether we maximize this natural state or squander it. Those who immediately engage in activities that require focus, creativity, or self-reflection harness this biological advantage, while those who reach for their phones and scroll through social media experience an instant hijacking of attention. This not only disrupts the natural wake-up process, but floods the brain with unnecessary stimuli, leading to mental fatigue before the day has even begun. Neuroscience further reveals that the early hours of the day are when our brain is most plastic, meaning it is primed for learning and adaptation. This is why morning meditation, journaling, or skill acquisition can have a profound impact. The brain, like a sponge, is eager to absorb new information and form neural connections, making this time ideal for setting intentions, reinforcing positive habits, and engaging in activities that promote growth. Conversely, if the morning begins with stress, hurriedness, or a lack of direction, the brain enters a reactive mode, making it more susceptible to anxiety and distraction. The way we use the first hour after waking can either set us up for a day of strategic thinking and problem solving, or one of emotional turbulence and inefficiency. Morning habits of successful people. Across industries and professions, one common trait among high achievers is a well-defined morning routine. From CEOs to Olympic athletes, the most successful individuals guard their mornings with intentionality. Take Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, who wakes up at 3:45 a.m. to get a head start on his responsibilities. Or Oprah Winfrey, who begins her day with meditation and gratitude practices. These individuals do not wake up early simply for the sake of doing so. They do it because they recognize the unparalleled advantage it provides. A structured morning creates a sense of control, allowing them to dictate the pace of their day rather than being at the mercy of external pressures. While morning routines differ from person to person, certain key elements are universally beneficial. Exercise, for example, is a staple among successful individuals because it jumpstarts the metabolism, releases endorphins, and enhances cognitive function. Morning movement, whether it's a full workout or simple stretching, signals to the body that the day has begun, increasing energy levels and mental alertness. Another common habit is mindful reflection. be it through journaling, meditation, or goal setting. This practice helps align actions with long-term objectives, providing a sense of purpose and direction. Successful people understand that a morning routine is not merely about productivity. It is about aligning their mind, body, and spirit in a way that fosters holistic success. The domino effect: how mornings impact your entire day. A strong morning routine creates a cascading effect, influencing not just the early hours, but the entire trajectory of the day. When we begin the morning with clarity, energy, and purpose, we carry that momentum into every subsequent task. Productivity becomes effortless, decisions become sharper, and stress becomes more manageable. This is why the first actions of the day hold immense significance. What we do in those initial hours dictates whether we operate from a place of empowerment or struggle. A well-planned morning acts as a launchpad, giving us the stability and foresight to handle the challenges of the day with confidence. On the other hand, a chaotic morning sets off a chain reaction of inefficiency. Rushing to get out the door, skipping breakfast, or starting the day with distractions leads to higher cortisol levels, increased stress, and a scattered mindset. The psychological impact of a disorganized morning lingers throughout the day, making it harder to focus, make rational decisions, and stay motivated. The small habits we cultivate in the morning, waking up early, engaging in mindful practices, and setting intentions, become the keystone habits that shape our success. Shifting your mindset about waking up early. To truly embrace the power of mornings, we must change our perception of them. Waking up early should not be seen as a burden, but as an opportunity. The morning is not an obligation. It is a gift, one that allows us to take charge of our lives, pursue our goals, and cultivate success on our terms. When we shift our mindset from seeing early rising as a sacrifice to recognizing it as a strategic advantage, we unlock a new level of potential. Mornings are not just about waking up, they are about waking up to win. Chapter 2: The Power of a Morning Routine. Defining what makes a great morning routine. A great morning routine is more than just a sequence of activities. It is a carefully crafted system designed to set the tone for the rest of the day. At its core, an effective morning routine is built on intention, consistency, and alignment with one's personal goals and well-being. It is not about blindly following a checklist of tasks that society deems productive, but rather about creating a series of habits that energize the body, sharpen the mind, and uplift the spirit. While some people thrive on an early morning workout, others may find solace in quiet reflection, meditation, or creative pursuits. The beauty of a morning routine lies in its customizability. It should be structured yet flexible enough to evolve as your life and goals change. A well-designed routine consists of 3 essential components: a physical element, a mental focus, and a purpose-driven action. The physical element could be anything that wakes up the body: exercise, stretching, or even a simple walk. Movement signals to the brain that it's time to be alert and active, shaking off the sluggishness of sleep. The mental focus aspect is equally important. It can take the form of reading, journaling, practicing gratitude, or setting daily intentions. This part of the routine nurtures the mind, ensuring clarity and motivation before external distractions take hold. Lastly, a purpose-driven action ties the routine together. This could be prioritizing the most important task of the day, engaging in a creative project, or dedicating time to a long-term goal. The purpose-driven action ensures that the first moments of the day are not wasted, but instead used to propel you forward in the direction of meaningful progress. Too often, people approach their mornings passively, reacting instead of leading, checking emails, scrolling through social media, or jumping into the demands of the day without a moment of conscious direction. This reactive approach leaves little room for focus, self-reflection, or preparation, leading to a day dictated by urgency rather than priority. In contrast, a structured morning routine acts as a personal anchor, allowing you to take charge of your day before external factors take control. The key is not just in having a routine, but in understanding its purpose and making it non-negotiable. Why consistency is more important than perfection. One of the biggest misconceptions about morning routines is that they have to be flawless to be effective. Many people believe that if they miss a day or deviate from their plan, they have failed, leading to discouragement and eventual abandonment of the habit. However, the true power of a morning routine lies not in perfection, but in consistency. Even on days when circumstances disrupt the routine, returning to it the next morning reinforces discipline and resilience. The key is to build momentum, not rigidity. To prioritize showing up rather than obsessing over doing everything perfectly. Consistency rewires the brain to associate mornings with structure, stability, and achievement. The brain thrives on patterns, and the more frequently an action is repeated, the more automatic it becomes. This is why people who consistently wake up at the same time find that their bodies adjust naturally, needing no alarm. When morning habits become ingrained, they require less effort, reducing decision fatigue and increasing efficiency. The greatest mistake is thinking that small inconsistencies erase long-term progress. In reality, a single disrupted morning holds no power over a lifetime of disciplined habits as long as you return to the routine the next day. Moreover, consistency fosters a sense of self-trust. Each time you honor your morning routine, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who follows through on commitments. This self-reliance builds confidence, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond mornings into every aspect of life. A strong morning routine becomes a daily affirmation of discipline, capability, and control. The role of rituals in building discipline. The human mind thrives on rituals. Whether we realize it or not, much of what we do is governed by habitual patterns, from the way we brush our teeth to the order in which we prepare our morning coffee. Rituals provide structure, meaning, and a sense of stability. When incorporated into a morning routine, they eliminate uncertainty, reduce decision fatigue, and create a strong foundation for discipline. The difference between a mere habit and a ritual is intention. A habit is something we do automatically, while a ritual is something we do with purpose and presence. For example, simply drinking coffee in the morning is a habit, but turning it into a ritual, preparing it mindfully, savoring its aroma, and using that time to reflect elevates the experience. Rituals anchor us in the present moment, creating a sense of order and mindfulness. They allow us to begin the day with clarity and intention, rather than rushing through autopilot actions. One of the most effective ways to strengthen morning discipline is to attach new habits to existing rituals, a technique known as habit stacking. If you already have a habit of drinking water in the morning, you can add deep breathing or affirmations to that moment. If you always brush your teeth after waking up, you can take that as a cue to begin your morning stretches. This approach seamlessly integrates new habits into existing routines, making them easier to maintain. Over time, these rituals become ingrained, transforming mornings from chaotic beginnings to structured, empowering experiences. How to personalize your morning for maximum success. While certain elements, such as movement, mindfulness, and intentionality, are universally beneficial, a morning routine should ultimately be tailored to individual needs, goals, and energy rhythms. Not everyone thrives on an intense 5 a.m. workout or an hour-long meditation session. The key to a sustainable morning routine is to design it in a way that feels energizing rather than exhausting. The first step is to identify personal energy peaks and challenges. Some people are natural early risers, while others struggle with morning grogginess. Understanding your body's rhythms allows you to optimize the routine for maximum efficiency. If your brain functions best in the early hours, prioritizing deep work or creativity might be ideal. If mornings feel sluggish, starting with light movement or fresh air can ease the transition. The goal is not to force an unrealistic routine, but to build one that aligns with your natural inclinations. Another crucial aspect of personalization is aligning the routine with your larger life goals. If you are focused on fitness, incorporating an energizing workout will serve you well. If mindfulness is a priority, dedicating time to meditation or journaling will have the greatest impact. A morning routine should reflect what matters most to you, acting as a daily commitment to self-improvement. Common mistakes people make in their morning routine. Even with the best intentions, certain pitfalls can undermine the effectiveness of a morning routine. One common mistake is overloading the routine with too many activities, leading to stress rather than productivity. Another is relying on motivation instead of discipline. Motivation fluctuates, but a strong routine should be consistent regardless of emotional state. Lastly, failing to prepare the night before can sabotage the morning. Small actions like setting out workout clothes or planning the first task of the day can make a significant difference. A great morning is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most consistently. Chapter 3. Mastering the Art of Waking Up Early. The myth of not being a morning person. One of the most common beliefs about waking up early is that some people are simply not built for it. The phrase, "I'm not a morning person," is often stated as if it were an unchangeable fact, as though certain individuals are biologically wired to thrive only at night. While it is true that genetics play a role in determining natural sleep cycles, some people lean toward being early birds, while others are night owls. This preference is not set in stone. The human body is adaptable, and anyone can train themselves to wake up early with the right approach, strategy, and mindset. The key to becoming a morning person lies in gradual conditioning. Instead of forcing an abrupt shift from waking at 8 a.m. to waking at 5 a.m. overnight, the body responds best to small incremental changes. This is because the circadian rhythm, the internal body clock that regulates sleep and wakefulness, adjusts based on environmental cues and consistency. A sudden change disrupts this balance, leading to exhaustion, resistance, and ultimately, failure. However, when we shift our wake-up time by just 15 to 30 minutes earlier each week, the body has time to acclimate, making the transition smoother and more sustainable. Furthermore, our energy levels in the morning are largely influenced by our behavior the night before. Many people claim they are not morning people while engaging in nighttime habits that sabotage their ability to wake up early. Excessive screen time, irregular sleep schedules, and inconsistent bedtime routines create the very grogginess that makes mornings unbearable. By addressing the root causes of morning fatigue, rather than assuming it's an inherent trait, anyone can transform their mornings from a struggle into an opportunity. The science of sleep. Why waking up early begins the night before. Waking up early is not simply about setting an alarm clock. It is about ensuring that the body is fully rested and prepared for an early start. Many people focus on the act of waking up while neglecting the quality of their sleep, which plays a far greater role in determining morning energy levels. The body operates on a 24-hour biological cycle known as the circadian rhythm, which is influenced by light exposure, hormone regulation, and behavioral patterns. Disrupting this rhythm by staying up too late, exposing the eyes to artificial light at night, or sleeping inconsistently causes morning grogginess and difficulty waking up. One of the most powerful sleep-regulating hormones is melatonin, which is naturally produced in the evening when light levels decrease. However, exposure to blue light from smartphones, laptops, and televisions suppresses melatonin production, tricking the brain into believing it is still daytime. This is why people who spend time on their devices before bed often struggle to fall asleep, and why their sleep quality is lighter and more fragmented. The solution is simple but often overlooked: reducing screen exposure at least 1 hour before bedtime, dimming artificial lights in the evening, and incorporating relaxing pre-sleep rituals like reading, meditation, or gentle stretching. In addition to light management, the timing of sleep matters as much as its duration. Many assume that getting 8 hours of sleep at any time is sufficient, but research shows that sleep quality is significantly higher when aligned with the body's natural clock. The deepest, most restorative stages of sleep, crucial for memory consolidation, hormone balance, and cellular repair, occur between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Those who sleep past midnight miss out on these critical sleep cycles, leading to lower energy levels even if they sleep for a full 8 hours. This is why those who wake up early and sleep earlier often feel more rested than those who sleep in late, despite getting the same amount of total sleep. By synchronizing sleep with natural rhythms, reducing artificial light exposure, and creating a consistent nighttime routine, waking up early becomes a natural and effortless process rather than a struggle against the body's instincts. The psychology of waking up early. Overcoming resistance. Beyond the biological aspects, the real battle of waking up early is psychological. The moment the alarm rings, the mind enters a negotiation phase, presenting arguments on why it would be better to stay in bed. Thoughts such as, "just 5 more minutes," or "I can start tomorrow," become tempting illusions, trapping us in a cycle of resistance and delay. The key to overcoming this internal debate is to eliminate decision-making entirely. The most effective method is habit automation. If waking up early is treated as an option, the brain will always seek the path of least resistance. However, if it is framed as a non-negotiable commitment, resistance disappears. One way to reinforce this mindset is through pre-programmed morning cues, placing the alarm across the room, setting up the environment for morning activities the night before, or using visual and auditory triggers such as bright light and energizing music. These cues signal to the brain that waking up is inevitable, reducing the temptation to negotiate. Additionally, attaching a compelling reason to waking up early makes the habit stick. If the first thing one faces in the morning is stress, obligations, or rushed tasks, the brain associates waking up with negativity. However, if mornings begin with something personally rewarding, such as a peaceful moment with coffee, time for a passion project, or an inspiring podcast, the brain starts to crave early rising rather than resist it. Practical strategies to wake up early without struggle. While mindset is crucial, practical strategies reinforce the habit and make early rising sustainable. Here are some proven techniques to wake up early with ease. 1. Use natural light to your advantage. The body's internal clock is highly responsive to light. Opening curtains upon waking, using sunrise alarm clocks, or stepping outside for early sunlight signals to the brain that it is time to be alert, reducing grogginess. 2. Master the 5-second rule developed by Mel Robbins. The 5-second rule states that when an action is necessary but hesitation arises, counting down from 5 and immediately taking action eliminates procrastination. The moment the alarm rings, saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and physically getting out of bed interrupts the mental resistance cycle. 3. Establish a reward system. Creating small, enjoyable morning rewards trains the brain to associate waking up early with pleasure. Whether it's listening to an audiobook, enjoying a favorite breakfast, or dedicating time to a personal goal, these positive reinforcements make early mornings desirable rather than dreaded. 4. Create a wind-down ritual. Setting a fixed bedtime, limiting evening caffeine, engaging in relaxation techniques, and maintaining a cool, dark sleep environment all contribute to higher sleep efficiency, making early waking effortless. By combining biological optimization, psychological reprogramming, and practical habit reinforcement, waking up early transitions from a struggle into an automatic, empowering routine. The key is to remove friction, build consistency, and create mornings worth waking up for. Chapter 4: The Science of Energy and Morning Vitality. Understanding the science of morning energy. Energy is the currency of life, and the way we start our mornings determines how much of it we have to spend throughout the day. While many people assume energy levels are simply a matter of getting enough sleep, the truth is that morning vitality is influenced by a combination of biological rhythms, hydration, movement, and mental conditioning. The body does not wake up fully charged like a battery. Rather, it transitions through different states of alertness based on signals received from the environment and internal processes. Understanding these mechanisms allows us to make intentional choices that maximize energy from the moment we open our eyes. At the core of morning energy lies the circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs sleep, wakefulness, and bodily functions over a 24-hour cycle. This rhythm is regulated by the hormonal interplay between cortisol and melatonin, two powerful chemicals that dictate whether we feel sluggish or energized upon waking. Cortisol, often misunderstood as the stress hormone, is actually the body's natural wakefulness signal, peaking in the early morning to stimulate alertness. However, its release is highly dependent on light exposure, movement, and hydration. Many people wake up feeling exhausted, not because they lack sleep, but because their morning habits suppress the natural cortisol response instead of amplifying it. Additionally, the body's energy systems rely on glucose regulation, oxygen intake, and mitochondrial function to generate sustainable power. The way we breathe, hydrate, and nourish ourselves in the first 30 minutes of the day can either accelerate or deplete our energy reserves. Those who experience chronic morning fatigue often have disrupted glucose metabolism, dehydration, and a lack of physical activation, all factors that can be optimized with a few strategic changes. The key to unlocking high energy in the morning is understanding these biological mechanisms and aligning our actions with them rather than working against them. The role of hydration in morning energy. One of the most overlooked yet critical factors in morning energy is hydration. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, the body wakes up in a state of mild dehydration as it has lost water through respiration, sweating, and metabolic processes. This dehydration directly affects blood volume, slowing circulation, and reducing oxygen delivery to the brain and muscles. As a result, many people experience brain fog, sluggishness, and fatigue upon waking, not due to a lack of sleep, but due to insufficient hydration. The first thing the body needs in the morning is not caffeine, but pure water to rehydrate cells and jumpstart metabolic processes. Drinking a full glass of water within the first 10 minutes of waking stimulates digestion, flushes out toxins accumulated overnight, and reactivates the nervous system. However, not all hydration is equal. Adding a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon to water provides essential electrolytes, aiding in better cellular absorption and reducing the risk of dehydration-related fatigue. Electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium are crucial for proper nerve function, muscle contraction, and energy production, making them essential for morning vitality. Furthermore, consuming warm water rather than cold enhances hydration efficiency. Warm or room temperature water is absorbed more quickly as the body does not have to expend energy to heat it up. This is why ancient wellness practices such as Ayurveda emphasize drinking warm lemon water upon waking. It awakens digestion, stimulates circulation, and supports detoxification, all of which contribute to sustained energy levels throughout the day. The power of movement and breath work for morning energy. The body is designed for movement, and one of the biggest mistakes people make is waking up and remaining sedentary. After hours of stillness during sleep, circulation slows, muscles stiffen, and oxygen flow decreases, contributing to morning sluggishness. The fastest way to activate energy and increase mental alertness is to engage in some form of physical movement immediately upon waking. This does not mean a full workout is necessary. Simple stretching, dynamic movements, or a short walk can trigger a powerful shift in energy. One of the most effective techniques for rapidly waking up the body and mind is breath work. Deep, intentional breathing floods the body with oxygen, stimulating the vagus nerve, increasing circulation, and energizing the brain. Most people breathe in a shallow, inefficient manner, especially in the morning, leading to suboptimal oxygenation and fatigue. Techniques such as diaphragmatic breathing, box breathing, or the Wim Hof method can be incorporated into a morning routine to create an instant surge of alertness. A powerful combination for maximizing morning energy is movement paired with breathwork. Engaging in a few minutes of jumping jacks, stretching, or sun salutations while practicing deep nasal breathing increases heart rate variability, enhances focus, and releases endorphins, the body's natural energy boosters. This approach mimics the natural energy boosting mechanisms of ancestral humans, who began their days with movement and exposure to natural light rather than prolonged inactivity. Fueling the body. The right morning nutrition for sustained energy food is the body's fuel, and what we eat in the morning directly influences energy levels, focus, and metabolism for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, many traditional breakfast choices are counterproductive, leading to energy crashes, insulin spikes, and mental fatigue. The key to a powerful morning meal is balancing macronutrients, so proteins, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbohydrates to create stable blood sugar levels and long-lasting energy. A common mistake is starting the day with high-sugar, processed foods, such as sugary cereals, pastries, or fruit juices. These spike blood sugar rapidly, leading to a burst of energy followed by a crash within hours. Instead, a nutrient-dense breakfast should include protein-rich foods, eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meats, healthy fats, avocado, nuts, olive oil, and fiber-rich carbohydrates, vegetables, whole grains. This combination ensures a steady release of glucose into the bloodstream, preventing energy dips and promoting sustained focus. Additionally, incorporating anti-inflammatory foods and adaptogens can further enhance morning energy. Turmeric, ginger, matcha, and medicinal mushrooms such as lion's mane and cordyceps have been shown to improve cognitive function, boost metabolism, and support adrenal health. By optimizing morning nutrition, we set the foundation for peak physical and mental performance throughout the day, creating a sustainable energy routine. Ultimately, morning energy is not about quick hacks or stimulants, but about aligning daily habits with the body's natural rhythms. By focusing on hydration, movement, breathwork, light exposure, and balanced nutrition, we create a morning routine that supports long-term vitality rather than temporary boosts, followed by crashes. The key is to approach energy as a system, not a single habit. Small, consistent changes in the morning routine lead to compounded benefits, transforming the way we experience each day. Chapter 5. The Mental Mastery of Mornings. The Psychology of Morning Success, Overcoming Mental Resistance. The way we experience our mornings is not determined solely by physical energy or external circumstances, but by the mental patterns and beliefs that shape our perception of the morning itself. Before any action takes place, before an alarm rings, before we step out of bed, before we take the first sip of water or stretch our muscles, the mind has already set the tone for the day. The moment we wake up, we enter into an internal dialogue that determines whether the morning will be one of powerful momentum or passive surrender. For many people, morning resistance begins as soon as consciousness returns. The brain starts presenting reasons to delay, to negotiate, to avoid discomfort. It whispers thoughts like, "I'll get up in 5 more minutes. I'll start my new routine tomorrow," or "I don't feel like it today." These thoughts seem harmless in the moment, but they are deeply ingrained mental habits that dictate behavior. The true obstacle to morning mastery is not physical tiredness. It is the mental scripts that keep us stuck in cycles of inconsistency. The key to breaking free from these self-imposed limitations is rewiring the morning mindset. This is done by changing our internal narratives, altering the way we frame mornings, and eliminating decision fatigue. Instead of treating waking up as a task or obligation, we must associate mornings with empowerment, clarity, and control. This shift is not about motivation. It is about making morning excellence an identity, a part of who we are rather than something we force ourselves to do. The power of identity, becoming the person who owns the morning. One of the most powerful forces in human psychology is identity, the way we define ourselves. Our actions are always in alignment with who we believe we are. This is why someone who identifies as not a morning person will struggle, no matter how many alarms they set or how much sleep they get. They have mentally assigned themselves to a category that reinforces the struggle, and their actions follow accordingly. The solution is to reconstruct self-identity to match the desired behavior. Instead of thinking, "I am trying to wake up early," the shift must be to, "I am the type of person who dominates my mornings." This subtle but profound shift in perspective changes everything. It eliminates resistance because the mind does not fight against behaviors that feel natural to its identity. A person who truly believes they are an early riser does not negotiate with the snooze button or question their morning routine. It simply becomes part of them. A powerful exercise for identity transformation is morning affirmations. While often misunderstood as mere positive thinking, affirmations are actually neural conditioning tools. By consistently reinforcing statements like, "I wake up energized and ready to win the day," "My mornings are my time to grow and succeed," or "I am disciplined, focused, and committed to my vision," the brain starts wiring these beliefs into the subconscious. Over time, this rewiring leads to a natural inclination toward morning excellence, making it effortless rather than forced. Visualization, programming the mind for morning success. The brain cannot distinguish between reality and vividly imagined experiences. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool in shaping behavior. When we mentally rehearse a successful morning, the brain fires the same neural pathways as if the experience were real, making the desired routine feel familiar and achievable. Each night before bed, taking just 60 seconds to visualize the perfect morning can drastically improve follow-through. This means mentally picturing waking up with ease, stretching with energy, drinking water, engaging in morning rituals, and stepping into the day with confidence. The more detailed and emotionally engaging the visualization, the more the brain primes itself to execute that scenario automatically. High-performance athletes, business leaders, and top performers across industries use visualization to condition success, and mastering mornings is no different. When the brain has already lived an experience in vivid detail, the actual execution of that experience becomes significantly easier. Eliminating decision fatigue, structuring mornings for automatic success. One of the greatest barriers to a powerful morning is decision fatigue. The more choices we have to make in the morning, what time should I wake up? Should I work out? What should I eat? The more mental energy we waste on unnecessary decisions. By the time most people start their day, their willpower is already depleted from minor morning negotiations. The most successful individuals eliminate all unnecessary decisions by creating a structured, repeatable morning routine. Every detail is pre-planned, turning the morning into a smooth, effortless sequence. Clothes are laid out the night before. Workout routines are predetermined. Breakfast choices are consistent. The alarm is set in a place that requires movement. By reducing morning decisions, we conserve mental energy for high-value tasks rather than wasting it on trivial choices. This allows us to begin the day in a state of control rather than chaos. The less the brain has to think about what to do next, the more energy it can devote to meaningful progress. The Morning Momentum Principle. How to build unstoppable energy. Morning momentum is the compound effect of small, consistent actions that build into unstoppable energy. Just as a rolling snowball gains mass as it moves downhill, a well-executed morning routine creates an upward spiral of motivation and productivity. The key to building momentum is starting the morning with immediate wins. Completing a small intentional task within the first 5 minutes of waking signals to the brain that action has begun. This could be as simple as making the bed, drinking a full glass of water, or doing 10 push-ups. Each micro-action sends a message: I am already succeeding. When the morning begins with action, the brain's reward system activates, reinforcing further movement. This is why those who start their mornings with purpose tend to carry that energy throughout the day, while those who begin with sluggishness often struggle to recover momentum. The first few actions of the morning set the emotional and psychological tone for the hours that follow. Mastering the mental game of mornings. Ultimately, mastering mornings is not about forcing discipline, but about aligning identity, mental conditioning, and structured habits to make success the default state. By overcoming internal resistance, redefining identity, visualizing success, eliminating decision fatigue, and harnessing momentum, we transform mornings from a struggle into a source of power. When mornings become a source of clarity, strength, and control, everything else in life begins to align. It is not about waking up early. It is about waking up with purpose. And those who master their mornings ultimately master their destiny. Chapter 6. The Science of Energy. Fueling your mornings for maximum performance. Understanding the body's energy cycles. How circadian rhythms shape your mornings. Energy is not a random occurrence. It is the result of deeply ingrained biological processes, specifically the body's circadian rhythms. These natural cycles, regulated by the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, control the release of hormones, body temperature, and wakefulness. Every morning, as the sun rises, the body undergoes a biochemical shift, moving from the restful state of sleep to the active state of wakefulness. However, this transition is not instantaneous. It is influenced by light exposure, nutritional intake, hydration, and movement. Most people wake up groggy not because they lack sleep, but because they disrupt their circadian rhythms with erratic wake-up times, poor sleep hygiene, and habits that delay the natural surge of morning energy. The first step to mastering morning energy is aligning the body's internal clock with a consistent routine. Waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, reinforces the body's natural wake signals, making mornings easier and more energized. Exposure to natural light within the first 10 to 15 minutes of waking further triggers the suppression of melatonin and the release of cortisol, the hormone responsible for alertness and readiness. This simple habit of stepping outside or sitting by a window in the morning can drastically improve morning wakefulness. Understanding this natural rhythm allows us to harness energy instead of fighting against it. Those who wake up at inconsistent times, stay in dark environments, or delay movement in the morning often experience extended sluggishness, brain fog, and lack of motivation. By working with the body's biology rather than against it, we can create a powerful foundation for energy optimization. Hydration, the first fuel for morning energy. One of the most overlooked yet crucial factors in morning energy is hydration. During sleep, the body loses significant amounts of water through respiration and sweat, leading to mild dehydration by morning. This dehydration is a key contributor to morning grogginess, brain fog, and sluggish circulation. The fastest way to jumpstart energy in the morning is by replenishing lost fluids. Drinking a full glass of water, at least 16 ounces, immediately upon waking triggers the activation of metabolism, improves oxygen flow to the brain, and stimulates digestion. Adding electrolytes or a pinch of sea salt can further enhance this effect by rebalancing minerals lost during the night. While coffee is often the first drink people reach for in the morning, consuming water first prepares the body for caffeine absorption and prevents the dehydration effect caffeine can have on an empty stomach. Hydration is not just about drinking water. It is about ensuring proper fluid balance throughout the body. Foods with high water content, such as fruits and vegetables, contribute to overall hydration, while processed, salty, or sugary foods can deplete hydration levels. By making hydration a morning priority, we provide the body with the foundational element needed for sustained energy. Nutrition, the morning fuel that determines energy levels all day. What we eat in the morning sets the metabolic tone for the entire day. Skipping breakfast or consuming high sugar, processed foods leads to rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by energy crashes, creating cycles of fatigue and cravings. A well-balanced morning meal should focus on protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates to provide steady, long-lasting energy. Protein is essential in the morning because it fuels neurotransmitter production, particularly dopamine, which enhances motivation and focus. Eggs, Greek yogurt, lean meats, or plant-based proteins like nuts and seeds help prevent morning sluggishness and keep energy levels stable. Healthy fats, such as those from avocados, nuts, and olive oil, support brain function and satiety, preventing energy dips mid-morning. Complex carbohydrates like oats, whole grains, and fruits provide slow-releasing glucose, the body's primary fuel source. Many people make the mistake of relying on caffeine alone for energy, but without proper nutrition, caffeine only provides a temporary lift, often leading to crashes later in the day. Pairing caffeine with a nutrient-dense meal ensures stable energy and sustained focus throughout the morning. The role of movement, activating energy. Through physical activity, movement is one of the most effective ways to increase morning energy. Physical activity boosts circulation, oxygen delivery to the brain, and the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. However, the key is to choose the right type of movement based on individual energy levels. For those who wake up feeling sluggish, light stretching, yoga, or a short walk can gently transition the body into wakefulness. Those who wake up with higher energy may benefit from higher intensity workouts, such as resistance training or cardio, to fully activate their systems. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of movement can drastically improve alertness, mood, and cognitive performance. The key is consistency. Those who integrate morning movement into their routine experience higher metabolic efficiency, better mood stability, and improved resilience to stress throughout the day. Sustaining energy. Throughout the day, avoiding common energy traps. Morning energy is only the beginning. How we manage energy throughout the day determines long-term performance. Many people experience afternoon crashes due to poor meal timing, dehydration, lack of movement, and overstimulation from caffeine or sugar. To sustain energy levels, strategic refueling is essential. This means consuming balanced meals every 3 to 4 hours to maintain stable blood sugar, drinking water consistently, and incorporating short movement breaks to prevent stagnation. One of the most effective ways to sustain energy is by utilizing the 90-minute productivity cycle, where focused work is followed by short recovery breaks. This mirrors the body's ultradian rhythms, preventing mental fatigue and keeping energy levels optimized. Another key element is managing stress. Chronic stress depletes energy reserves, leading to burnout and exhaustion. Practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, and taking intentional pauses throughout the day can prevent energy depletion. Mastering morning energy for a powerful life. Morning energy is not an accident. It is the result of strategic habits that align with the body's natural rhythms. By understanding circadian cycles, prioritizing hydration, fueling the body with nutrient-dense foods, incorporating movement, and sustaining energy throughout the day, we create an unshakable foundation for success. When we master morning energy, we do not just wake up feeling better, we perform better, think clearer, and live with greater vitality. The way we fuel our mornings determines the trajectory of our days and ultimately, the quality of our lives. Chapter 7. The Power of Mindset, Rewiring Your Brain for Morning Success. The psychology of mornings, how mindset shapes your energy and productivity. Your mornings are more than just the first few hours of the day. They are a direct reflection of your mindset. From the moment you open your eyes, the thoughts that enter your mind influence how you feel, how you act, and how you navigate the challenges ahead. Those who wake up feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or uninspired often struggle to find momentum, while those who wake up with a clear, intentional, and disciplined mindset are able to take charge of their day with purpose. But what separates these two mindsets? Why do some people seem naturally wired for morning success, while others dread the idea of getting out of bed? The answer lies in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on thought patterns, habits, and conditioning. At its core, the human brain is designed to seek comfort, avoid pain, and conserve energy. This is why, for so many people, mornings feel like a battle between what they know they should do and what feels easier in the moment. Hitting the snooze button, scrolling on the phone, or delaying important tasks all stem from deeply ingrained neural pathways that prioritize short-term relief over long-term success. The good news is that these patterns are not fixed. By understanding how the brain operates in the morning and applying strategies to reprogram thought processes, anyone can transform their mornings into a time of high energy, focus, and purpose. Overcoming morning resistance, rewiring the brain for action. One of the most common barriers to morning success is resistance, the internal friction between motivation and inaction. Resistance takes many forms: fatigue, self-doubt, lack of motivation, or the simple desire to stay comfortable. But what most people don't realize is that resistance is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to push forward. The brain, particularly the limbic system, is wired to resist change, especially when it requires effort. However, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and discipline, has the power to override resistance and initiate action. The key to overcoming morning inertia is to build automatic triggers that eliminate the need for decision-making. One of the most effective ways to do this is through habit stacking, the process of attaching a new behavior to an existing one. For example, instead of waking up and debating whether to exercise, one could place workout clothes next to the bed the night before and immediately put them on upon waking. This small action signals the brain that the next step is movement, reducing the mental resistance to starting. Another powerful technique is the 5-second rule, developed by Mel Robbins, which states that the brain must take action within 5 seconds before doubt and hesitation set in. The moment resistance appears, counting down from 5 and immediately moving into action interrupts negative thought patterns and activates momentum. The role of self-talk, reprogramming, internal dialogue for confidence. The way we talk to ourselves in the morning determines our ability to take charge or fall into self-sabotage. Many people wake up with self-defeating thoughts. I'm too tired. I don't feel like working out. Or, I'll start tomorrow. These thoughts, though seemingly harmless, create a mental environment of hesitation and procrastination. The brain believes what it is repeatedly told, which means that negative self-talk reinforces negative behaviors, while positive self-talk reinforces positive behaviors. To shift this dynamic, it is essential to practice affirmative self-talk and intentional reframing. Instead of, "I'm too tired to wake up early," saying, "I am someone who starts the day strong," creates an identity-based shift that aligns with productive action. Studies in neuroscience show that the brain responds to affirmations by reinforcing neural pathways associated with confidence, making it easier to stick to morning habits over time. This practice, when done consistently, not only transforms the way mornings feel, but also builds a resilient mindset that carries into the rest of the day. Cultivating a winner's mindset, the morning rituals of high performers. The most successful individuals in any field, from business leaders to athletes, share a common trait. They control their mornings with deliberate, structured rituals that prime their minds for success. These rituals are not random. They are carefully designed to maximize focus, energy, and mental clarity. One of the most effective strategies is visualization, a technique used by Olympic athletes and high-level performers to mentally rehearse success before it happens. By spending a few minutes each morning visualizing the day ahead, seeing tasks completed, goals achieved, and challenges overcome, the brain is primed for productivity and motivation. Another essential morning habit is journaling. Writing down thoughts, goals, or reflections in the morning creates mental clarity, reduces stress, and activates the reticular activating system, ERAS, the part of the brain responsible for filtering information. When a person writes down their intentions, the RAS helps them notice opportunities and solutions throughout the day that align with those goals. This is why writing morning affirmations, gratitude lists, or goal-setting prompts can significantly improve focus and emotional resilience. Training the brain for long-term morning mastery. Morning success is not about willpower. It is about training the brain to operate in a way that supports action and progress. The key is consistency. The more the brain repeats a behavior, the stronger the neural connections become, making it easier over time. However, many people struggle because they attempt drastic changes all at once. The brain resists sudden, overwhelming shifts, which is why gradual habit formation is the most effective way to create long-term change. Starting small, such as committing to a 5-minute morning routine and gradually expanding it, allows the brain to adapt without resistance. Over weeks and months, these small habits compound into powerful routines that feel effortless. Morning mastery is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about sticking to the process even on days when motivation is low. The brain thrives on repetition, and the more consistent the effort, the more automatic success becomes. Shaping your identity. Becoming the person who wins the morning. Ultimately, winning the morning is not just about habits, it is about identity. People who wake up feeling energized, focused, and driven do not see morning routines as tasks. They see them as an extension of who they are. This is the final step in mastering the morning mindset, shifting from, "I have to wake up early," to, "I am the type of person who takes control of my mornings." When actions align with identity, resistance disappears, and success becomes inevitable. Mornings are not just the start of the day. They are the foundation of success, discipline, and personal mastery. By rewiring the brain for confidence, overcoming resistance, and cultivating a winning mindset, anyone can turn mornings into a source of power, progress, and transformation. Chapter 8. Mastering Time: How to Own Your Morning Schedule and Maximize Productivity. The illusion of busyness: why most mornings are wasted without structure. Many people wake up with the intention of being productive, yet find themselves falling into the trap of reactive mornings, days that begin without clear direction, dictated by external demands rather than internal purpose. The emails, notifications, and last-minute to-dos create a sense of busyness that feels productive, but in reality, these scattered actions do little to move the needle forward on meaningful goals. This is the illusion of productivity, the belief that being busy is the same as being effective. Without a structured approach to the morning, time is easily lost to low-impact tasks, decision fatigue, and distractions that steal mental energy before the day has even truly begun. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who struggle to make progress is not about working harder. It is about working with precision and control over time. Successful individuals understand that morning hours are a finite resource, and how they are allocated determines the trajectory of the entire day. They don't wake up hoping to fit everything in. They wake up with a clear time-blocked strategy that ensures their most important priorities are completed before distractions take over. By mastering time in the morning, they create a ripple effect that influences their productivity, focus, and sense of accomplishment throughout the rest of the day. The science of time blocking: how to design an efficient morning structure. The most effective way to take control of the morning is through time blocking, the strategic practice of assigning specific time slots to high-value activities before the day begins. This technique is not just about scheduling. It is about protecting mental energy, reducing decision fatigue, and ensuring that important tasks are completed before external demands hijack the day. Research in cognitive psychology shows that the brain is most efficient when it operates within predefined constraints, meaning that when time is allocated to a task in advance, it is more likely to be completed with focus and efficiency. A powerful way to implement time blocking is through the morning power hour, a dedicated period of uninterrupted high-focus work during the first 60 to 90 minutes of the day. This time should be reserved for the most mentally demanding or goal-oriented tasks, whether it be deep work, creative thinking, strategic planning, or personal development. The key is to prioritize activities that create momentum and set the tone for the rest of the day. Instead of starting the morning by checking emails or scrolling through social media, successful individuals commit to structured, deep work that aligns with their long-term objectives. To create a time-blocked morning schedule, it is essential to first identify the core priorities that will have the highest impact on the day's success. This can be broken down into 3 key categories: personal mastery, mindset and wellness, high-impact work, goal-driven productivity, and strategic planning, future-oriented thinking. By allocating time to each of these areas in a structured sequence, the morning becomes a predictable, high-performance routine that eliminates wasted time and decision paralysis. Eliminating morning distractions. The art of protecting mental energy. One of the greatest threats to morning productivity is distraction. The constant pull of notifications, external demands, and environmental triggers that fragment attention and reduce efficiency. Studies show that it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction, meaning that even a brief interruption early in the morning can derail momentum and reduce cognitive performance for the rest of the day. This is why high performers adopt strict morning boundaries that protect their focus and mental clarity. The first step in eliminating distractions is controlling digital inputs. The brain is highly susceptible to dopamine-driven stimuli, and checking a phone immediately upon waking conditions the mind to seek external validation rather than internal focus. By implementing a 30 to 60-minute no-phone rule in the morning, individuals can train their brains to operate from intention rather than reactivity. This practice reduces mental clutter, improves concentration, and allows for deeper engagement in morning priorities. Another critical factor in minimizing distractions is creating an environment that supports focus. This means eliminating visual and auditory interruptions, structuring the workspace for efficiency, and removing unnecessary decision points that consume mental energy. Small environmental shifts, such as laying out workout clothes the night before, setting up a designated workspace for deep work, or using noise-canceling headphones, can have a profound impact on morning discipline and productivity. The 80-20 rule: prioritizing high-impact morning activities. Not all morning activities contribute equally to success. The Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, states that 80% of results come from 20% of activities. This means that rather than trying to complete a long list of tasks, the most effective approach is to identify and focus on the small handful of actions that will create the greatest impact. For morning success, the 80-20 rule can be applied by asking, what are the top 2 or 3 activities that, if completed, would make the entire day more productive and fulfilling? These are typically the tasks that require deep concentration, creative problem solving, or strategic thinking. Activities that, when completed early, create a sense of accomplishment and momentum. By prioritizing these high-impact activities within the first hours of the day, individuals can achieve more in a few focused hours than most people do in an entire workday. A simple yet powerful way to apply this principle is through the Rule of 3, a prioritization framework that limits the morning schedule to 3 core objectives. Instead of overwhelming the brain with an exhaustive to-do list, this approach forces clarity and efficiency by ensuring that only the most essential tasks receive attention. The power of morning accountability. How to stay consistent. Over time, even with a well-structured plan, the greatest challenge of morning mastery is consistency. Motivation fluctuates, willpower depletes, and external pressures can easily disrupt even the most disciplined routines. This is why the most successful individuals rely on accountability systems to reinforce their morning habits and maintain long-term progress. One of the most effective accountability strategies is tracking progress through daily or weekly reflection. Studies in behavioral psychology show that when people track their habits, they are significantly more likely to maintain them. Whether it's a morning journal, a habit tracker, or a productivity app, the simple act of recording morning accomplishments reinforces discipline and creates a psychological reward loop that strengthens habit formation. Another powerful method is public or peer accountability. Sharing morning goals with a mentor, accountability partner, or mastermind group adds an extra layer of commitment, as the social pressure to follow through increases the likelihood of consistent action. Some of the world's top entrepreneurs and athletes use morning check-in calls, progress reports, or structured accountability systems to ensure that they stay on track with their routines. Becoming the architect of your morning success. Ultimately, mastering time in the morning is not about cramming more into the schedule. It is about aligning actions with purpose, protecting focus, and eliminating wasteful habits. Those who wake up with clarity, discipline, and a structured game plan gain an undeniable edge in both personal and professional success. By applying time-blocking strategies, eliminating distractions, prioritizing high-impact work, and leveraging accountability systems, anyone can transform their mornings into a launchpad for extraordinary achievement. Chapter 9. The Power of Morning Mindset. Harnessing Mental Clarity, Confidence, and Focus. Why mindset matters. The invisible force that shapes your day. Every morning presents a mental fork in the road. One path leads to clarity, confidence, and decisive action, while the other leads to doubt, hesitation, and distraction. Most people do not realize that the way they think in the first moments of waking shapes the rest of the day. Thoughts become emotions, emotions become actions, and actions determine results. The way a person starts their morning mentally either fuels momentum or drains it before the day even begins. A negative or chaotic mental state, one filled with stress, worry, or distraction, creates a ripple effect that affects focus, productivity, and emotional well-being. Neuroscience shows that the brain is highly impressionable in the first 30 minutes after waking, meaning that whatever mental patterns are reinforced during this time will influence thoughts and behaviors for hours to come. This is why elite performers, successful entrepreneurs, and high achievers prioritize morning mental conditioning as a non-negotiable part of their routine. They do not leave their mindset to chance. They actively cultivate thoughts that empower and direct them towards success. The good news is that anyone can train their brain to operate at a higher level each morning. With the right techniques, intentional focus, structured self-talk, visualization, and mental priming, it is possible to create an unshakable mindset that fuels productivity, resilience, and peak performance throughout the entire day. Reprogramming. Self-talk, the inner dialogue that shapes reality. One of the most overlooked aspects of morning success is self-talk, the ongoing internal dialogue that dictates how we perceive ourselves and our abilities. The mind is constantly processing information, but the problem is that most people's self-talk is unconsciously negative, reinforcing doubt, hesitation, and limiting beliefs. Studies show that the human brain generates approximately 60,000 thoughts per day, and up to 80% of them are negative. If left unchecked, this mental chatter becomes a self-sabotaging force, draining confidence and creating unnecessary barriers to success. Morning is the most powerful time to reprogram self-talk because the brain is in a highly suggestible state due to elevated alpha brainwave activity. This means that whatever thoughts are reinforced during this time become the dominant beliefs that shape the day. By intentionally replacing negative, reactive thoughts with empowering, proactive statements, it is possible to shift mindset and build unshakable confidence. A simple yet effective practice is affirmation-based self-talk, a structured process of replacing limiting beliefs with constructive, success-oriented statements. Instead of allowing the mind to default to thoughts like, "I'm not ready," "I'm too tired," or "I don't know if I can handle this," one can deliberately reinforce thoughts like, "I am focused, prepared, and in control of my day. I have everything I need to succeed," and "I am strong, resilient, and capable." Over time, this mental conditioning rewires the brain for confidence and certainty, replacing doubt with decisive action. The visualization method, mentally creating success. Before it happens, elite athletes, top executives, and world-class performers all use visualization as a daily practice to mentally prepare for success. The human brain does not distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. When a person visualizes success, the same neural pathways that would be activated in real-life execution are engaged. This means that mentally rehearsing a successful day before it happens can significantly enhance focus, performance, and problem-solving abilities. A structured morning visualization practice involves mentally walking through the upcoming day, seeing challenges being handled with confidence, and vividly imagining key tasks being completed with ease. The key is to make the visualization as detailed as possible, seeing, hearing, and feeling the experience in the mind. The more sensory details included, the more powerful the effect. For example, if an entrepreneur has an important business meeting, they can visualize walking into the room with confidence, engaging in productive conversation, and successfully closing the deal. If an athlete is preparing for training, they can mentally see themselves executing perfect technique, feeling strong and in control. This practice primes the brain for success before the day even begins, making challenges feel familiar and achievable rather than intimidating. Overcoming the mental barriers of self-doubt and hesitation. Even the most successful individuals experience moments of doubt, but the difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is how they respond to these mental barriers. Most people allow hesitation to dictate their actions. When they feel uncertain, they hold back, procrastinate, or second-guess themselves. This hesitation creates a cycle of inaction that reinforces self-doubt over time. The key to overcoming this mental resistance is deliberate action before hesitation takes hold. Research shows that the brain makes decisions based on emotion before logic catches up, meaning that when doubt arises, the best strategy is to immediately take a small decisive action toward the goal. This disrupts hesitation and builds momentum. One powerful method is the 5-second rule, developed by author Mel Robbins, which states, that if an instinct or idea arises, a person has 5 seconds to take action before their brain kills it with doubt. For example, if the alarm goes off and the first instinct is to hit snooze, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and immediately getting out of bed short-circuits hesitation. If there is a difficult conversation to have, sending the message or making the call within 5 seconds prevents overthinking. This simple practice trains the brain to act with confidence rather than delay with uncertainty. Creating a resilient, high-performance morning mindset. A strong morning mindset is not something that happens by accident. It is the result of intentional habits, structured mental conditioning, and the deliberate elimination of self-sabotaging thought patterns. By consciously managing self-talk, using visualization to precondition success, and taking decisive action before doubt sets in, anyone can create a mental foundation of clarity, focus, and confidence. The most successful individuals do not wake up hoping to have a good mindset. They create it through daily repetition. Each morning, they reinforce empowering beliefs, eliminate distractions, and mentally prepare for peak performance. Over time, these small, intentional actions accumulate, transforming their inner world and, ultimately, their external success. By applying these techniques consistently, anyone can train their mind to operate at a higher level every morning, unlocking levels of productivity, focus, and resilience that few ever achieve. The key is deliberate practice, unwavering commitment, and the understanding that mindset is the ultimate determinant of success. Chapter 10. Mastering the Art of Energy Management, Fueling Your Morning for Peak Performance. The science of morning energy. Understanding how the body and brain recharge energy is the foundation upon which every productive morning is built. Without it, even the best intentions fall apart. The difference between a morning filled with momentum and one plagued by sluggishness lies in the body's ability to generate, sustain, and optimize energy levels. But energy is not just about how much sleep a person gets. It is a complex interplay between circadian rhythms, hormone regulation, nutrition, movement, and mindset. Understanding these factors and strategically aligning them creates a sustainable source of energy that lasts throughout the day. The human body operates on a 24-hour internal clock known as the circadian rhythm, which regulates sleep-wake cycles, hormone production, and energy fluctuations. The first few hours after waking are when cortisol, the body's natural alertness hormone, peaks, providing a surge of energy designed to kickstart the day. However, if this energy is not harnessed correctly, it dissipates quickly, leading to mid-morning crashes and reliance on artificial stimulants like caffeine. The key is aligning morning habits with the body's natural biological processes to create sustainable, long-lasting energy. A well-designed morning routine optimizes energy at multiple levels: cellular, hormonal, and psychological. This means fueling the body with the right nutrients, moving to activate circulation, and mentally priming the brain for focus and resilience. When these elements work in harmony, mornings become a time of high-performance execution rather than a struggle to stay awake. Optimizing nutrition. The role of food in sustained energy and mental clarity. What a person eats in the morning directly affects cognitive function, metabolic health, and sustained energy levels. Many people make the mistake of either skipping breakfast or consuming foods that create blood sugar spikes, leading to an initial burst of energy, followed by a sharp crash. The goal is not just to eat, but to fuel the body with the right macronutrients that provide stable energy for hours. The ideal morning meal should include high-quality proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Proteins, such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or plant-based alternatives, help maintain muscle function and keep hunger at bay. Healthy fats, like avocados, nuts, and olive oil, support brain function and stabilize blood sugar. Complex carbohydrates, such as oats, quinoa, or whole grains, provide a slow-releasing source of energy that sustains mental and physical performance throughout the morning. Beyond macronutrients, micronutrients also play a critical role. Magnesium, vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids enhance brain function and prevent fatigue. Hydration is equally important. The body loses nearly a pound of water overnight through respiration and sweat, so replenishing with at least 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning ensures optimal cellular function. Many high performers start their day with a combination of lemon water and electrolytes to jumpstart hydration and metabolism. The power of movement, activating energy through physical activity. One of the most effective ways to generate energy in the morning is through intentional movement. Exercise is not just about fitness. It is a physiological tool for boosting alertness, enhancing focus, and elevating mood. The right type of movement increases oxygen circulation, releases endorphins, and stimulates the production of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, neurotransmitters responsible for motivation, happiness, and focus. Different forms of movement serve different purposes. High-intensity exercise, like sprinting or strength training, creates a surge of energy by increasing adrenaline levels, making it ideal for those who need a powerful start to the day. On the other hand, low-impact activities like yoga or stretching activate circulation while calming the nervous system, creating a state of focused relaxation. The best morning routines often combine both: dynamic movements to wake up the body, followed by mindful stretching to enhance flexibility and reduce stress. A simple but highly effective practice is the sunlight and movement method, where one spends at least 10 minutes outside immediately after waking, engaging in light activity. Sunlight exposure in the morning signals the brain to regulate melatonin production, balancing sleep-wake cycles and boosting energy levels naturally. Walking, stretching, or doing a short mobility routine outdoors can significantly enhance alertness and prevent the sluggishness many experience after waking. The psychology of energy, mental strategies for overcoming fatigue. Energy is not just physical, it is psychological. The way a person thinks about energy directly affects how much of it they feel. Many people say they are tired out of habit rather than actual exhaustion. Studies show that when individuals tell themselves they feel energized, alert, and focused, their body follows suit, proving that mental perception has a powerful influence on physical energy. One of the most effective psychological tools for managing energy is reframing. Instead of saying, "I'm exhausted," one can shift to, "My body is recharging and I'm getting stronger." Instead of, "I don't have the energy," one can say, "I am building energy through movement and focus." These subtle language shifts create a mental framework that reinforces vitality rather than fatigue. Another powerful mental strategy is micro-recovery. Instead of trying to push through exhaustion, high performers implement strategic pauses throughout the day to replenish energy. A simple 5-minute breathing exercise, a short walk, or a quick hydration break can reset the nervous system and prevent burnout. The key is recognizing that energy is not an unlimited resource. It is something that must be managed, replenished, and protected. Building a sustainable morning energy routine. Mastering morning energy requires consistent, intentional habits. The most successful individuals do not leave their energy levels to chance. They structure their mornings with routines that maximize physical, mental, and emotional well-being. A sustainable morning energy routine includes 1. Hydration, drinking water immediately after waking to replenish lost fluids. 2. Nutrition, eating a balanced meal with proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbs. 3. Movement, engaging in exercise to activate circulation and elevate focus. 4. Sunlight exposure, spending time outdoors to regulate circadian rhythms. 5. Mental priming, using self-talk, visualization, and reframing to create a state of focus and vitality. By mastering the art of energy management, anyone can transform their mornings into a period of peak performance. The key is not to rely on motivation, but to create a system where high energy is the default state rather than the exception. When mornings are optimized for energy, every other area of life improves. Productivity skyrockets, focus sharpens, and a sense of unstoppable momentum carries into the rest of the day. Chapter 11. The Power of Mindset: Cultivating Mental Resilience for Unstoppable Mornings. The Psychology of a Winning Morning: How Mental Framing Shapes Reality. The way a person approaches their morning is not just a matter of habit. It is a direct reflection of their mindset. A morning filled with hesitation, resistance, and doubt will create a day marked by the same emotions, while a morning rooted in clarity, confidence, and purpose will establish an entirely different trajectory. The mind is the most powerful tool in shaping reality, and nowhere is this more evident than in the moments immediately after waking. The thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that dominate the first hour of the day set the tone for everything that follows. If the mind is unfocused, restless, or burdened with negative expectations, it will manifest in low energy, poor decision-making, and a lack of progress. But when the mind is deliberately programmed for success, mornings become an opportunity to build unstoppable momentum. At the core of a powerful morning mindset is the concept of mental framing. This refers to the way an individual perceives and interprets their experiences, particularly those that occur early in the day. A person who wakes up and immediately thinks, "I'm tired. Today is going to be stressful," is already conditioning themselves for exhaustion and frustration. On the other hand, someone who wakes up and thinks, "This is a new day filled with opportunities. I have the energy and clarity to make it great," is setting themselves up for success. The mind responds to the instructions it is given, and those instructions begin the moment the alarm clock rings. The most successful individuals understand that mental resilience is not a passive quality. It is an active skill that must be trained. Just as an athlete conditions their body for peak performance, the mind must be conditioned for focus, confidence, and emotional stability. This is especially critical in the morning when the brain is most impressionable. Within the first 30 minutes of waking, the brain operates in a highly suggestible alpha wave state, meaning it absorbs thoughts, ideas, and emotions at an accelerated rate. This is why what one thinks, listens to, and says to themselves in the morning has an outsized impact on the rest of the day. By intentionally cultivating a success-oriented mindset first thing in the morning, one creates an internal foundation of resilience, adaptability, and unstoppable momentum. Breaking the cycle of negative self-talk, rewiring the brain for confidence. One of the biggest barriers to morning success is negative self-talk. Many people wake up already engaging in subconscious mental patterns that drain energy and create self-doubt. Thoughts like, "I'm not a morning person," "I don't feel motivated," or "today is going to be overwhelming," are not just passing thoughts. They are deeply ingrained mental scripts that dictate behavior. The way a person speaks to themselves internally determines their actions, habits, and ultimately, their success. If the first thoughts of the day are filled with self-limiting beliefs, the brain will subconsciously seek to confirm those beliefs throughout the day. Rewiring the brain for confidence and resilience requires a conscious effort to identify, challenge, and replace negative self-talk with empowering alternatives. Instead of waking up and thinking, "I didn't get enough sleep," one can shift the narrative to, "I am energized and ready to maximize the day." Instead of, "I'm not motivated," one can tell themselves, "I create my own motivation through action." These small but powerful shifts reprogram the brain, reinforcing a mindset that naturally gravitates toward productivity, self-belief, and high performance. One of the most effective tools for reshaping internal dialogue is morning affirmations. These are not just feel-good statements. They are scientifically backed techniques that leverage the brain's neuroplasticity to create lasting mindset shifts. Repeating affirmations such as, "I am focused, disciplined, and ready to win the day," or "I approach challenges with confidence and determination," can significantly alter how the mind perceives reality. Over time, these statements become ingrained, replacing self-doubt with a deep-rooted sense of self-assurance. The role of visualization, mentally rehearsing success. Before it happens, elite performers across all fields, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders, use visualization as a powerful tool to mentally condition themselves for success. This practice involves creating a detailed mental image of the desired outcome, engaging all the senses to make it as vivid and realistic as possible. The reason visualization is so effective is that the brain does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. Studies have shown that mentally rehearsing an action activates the same neural pathways as physically performing it, meaning that visualization can train the brain for success before it even happens. In the context of a morning routine, visualization can be used to mentally map out the day ahead, reinforcing clarity, confidence, and focus. Before getting out of bed, one can take a few moments to visualize the day unfolding with efficiency, productivity, and positive outcomes. Picture important tasks being completed effortlessly, challenges being met with resilience, and interactions being filled with confidence and ease. By mentally rehearsing success first thing in the morning, one primes the subconscious mind to seek out and create that reality. Another powerful form of visualization is future self visualization. This involves imagining oneself as the highest version of who they want to become, whether that is a confident leader, a focused entrepreneur, or an energetic high performer. The key is to embody this version of oneself mentally and emotionally, reinforcing the identity of someone who naturally succeeds. When practiced consistently, this technique bridges the gap between where one is and where they want to be, aligning thoughts, actions, and behaviors with the vision of their most successful self. Building emotional resilience, overcoming challenges with a strong morning mindset. Mornings are often the most emotionally vulnerable time of the day. The way a person reacts to small stressors, such as checking emails, feeling rushed, or encountering unexpected obstacles, determines the emotional tone for the rest of the day. This is why building emotional resilience is crucial. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about developing the mental toughness to navigate them with clarity and composure. One of the most effective ways to cultivate emotional resilience is through gratitude. Research shows that starting the day with gratitude lowers stress hormones, increases dopamine levels, and shifts the brain into a positive state. Instead of immediately focusing on what needs to be done or what is going wrong, taking a few moments to reflect on three things. One is grateful for trains the brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. Over time, this simple habit builds emotional fortitude, making it easier to handle stress and adversity. Another key component of resilience is emotional regulation. Many people allow external circumstances to dictate their emotions, reacting impulsively to stressors rather than responding with intentionality. The best way to counter this is through morning mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing, which train the nervous system to remain calm under pressure. When the mind is conditioned to remain centered despite challenges, mornings become a time of control, focus, and deliberate action rather than reactivity. Mastering the morning mindset is about more than just waking up early. It is about cultivating the internal strength, confidence, and mental clarity to seize each day with purpose and determination. By framing thoughts intentionally, eliminating negative self-talk, using visualization, and developing emotional resilience, anyone can create a morning routine that fuels long-term success. The mind is either a person's greatest ally or their biggest obstacle, and the choice is made every morning. Those who take control of their mental habits take control of their lives. When mindset and mornings are mastered, success becomes inevitable. Chapter 12. The Science of Energy. Unlocking Vitality for Peak Morning Performance. Understanding the energy equation. The foundation of a powerful morning. Energy is the driving force behind every successful morning. Without it, even the best intentions, the most well-structured routines, and the strongest mindset will struggle to materialize into action. A lack of energy is often the hidden cause of morning procrastination, mental fog, and sluggishness, making it difficult to create the momentum needed to conquer the day. Energy is not just about physical stamina. It is a combination of mental clarity, emotional balance, and physiological vitality. When all three components are optimized, mornings become a time of peak performance, where every action feels effortless and aligned with one's highest potential. The energy equation begins with understanding how the body and mind generate and sustain vitality. At the most fundamental level, energy is produced at the cellular level in the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the body. These tiny structures take in nutrients and oxygen, converting them into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, the fuel that powers every bodily function. However, the efficiency of this process is influenced by numerous lifestyle factors, including sleep, nutrition, hydration, movement, and stress levels. When one or more of these areas are compromised, the body's ability to produce energy declines, resulting in fatigue, brain fog, and lack of motivation. The challenge for many is that they begin their day in an energy deficit, unaware that their habits, both before bed and after waking, are sabotaging their vitality. Poor sleep hygiene, dehydration, processed foods, and a sedentary lifestyle all contribute to sluggishness in the morning. By making strategic changes to these habits, anyone can dramatically enhance their energy levels, ensuring that they wake up feeling refreshed, focused, and ready to perform at their highest level. Energy is not just something people passively receive. It is something they actively cultivate through their daily choices. Sleep optimization. The ultimate energy reset for mornings. One of the biggest misconceptions about energy is that it is simply a matter of getting enough hours of sleep. While sleep duration is important, the quality of sleep is an even greater determinant of morning energy. Many people wake up feeling tired even after getting 8 hours of rest because their sleep was fragmented, shallow, or out of sync with their body's natural rhythms. Optimizing sleep for maximum energy requires aligning with the body's circadian clock, improving sleep depth, and minimizing disruptions that interfere with recovery. The first step in optimizing sleep for morning energy is maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. The human body operates on a 24-hour biological clock, and when sleep patterns are irregular, such as going to bed at different times each night, the brain struggles to establish a strong sleep-wake cycle. This results in lower sleep efficiency and more difficulty waking up feeling refreshed. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate circadian rhythms, making mornings significantly easier. Another crucial factor in deep, restorative sleep is minimizing artificial light exposure before bed. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production, the hormone that signals the body to sleep. When melatonin levels are disrupted, sleep onset is delayed, and the body struggles to reach the deep stages of sleep, where the most energy restoration occurs. Limiting screen time at least an hour before bed, using warm lighting in the evening, and wearing blue light blocking glasses can significantly improve sleep quality and lead to greater morning alertness. The final key to waking up with high energy is understanding sleep cycles. Sleep occurs in 90-minute cycles, and waking up in the middle of a deep sleep phase leads to grogginess and sluggishness. Using a sleep tracking device or setting an alarm based on 90-minute intervals, such as 6 or 7.5 hours instead of 7, can help ensure waking up at the lightest stage of sleep making mornings feel more natural and effortless. Morning hydration, the fastest way to restore energy. Many people wake up feeling fatigued, not because they didn't get enough sleep, but because they are dehydrated. The body loses a significant amount of water overnight through respiration and sweat, and dehydration in the morning leads to lower blood circulation, sluggish metabolism, and impaired cognitive function. Replenishing fluids immediately after waking up is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to restore alertness, increase oxygen flow to the brain, and jumpstart metabolism. The key is not just drinking water, but drinking electrolyte-rich water that replenishes minerals lost overnight. Adding a pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to water provides the body with essential electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium, which help maintain cellular hydration and energy production. Starting the day with at least 16 to 20 ounces of water before consuming any caffeine prevents dehydration-related fatigue and ensures the body is operating at peak efficiency. Fueling the body, nutrition strategies for sustained morning energy. What a person eats first thing in the morning has a profound impact on energy levels, mental clarity, and overall performance. Many common breakfast choices, such as sugary cereals, processed pastries, or high-carbohydrate meals, create an initial spike in blood sugar followed by a rapid crash, leading to mid-morning fatigue and brain fog. The most effective way to sustain energy is by consuming a balanced meal that stabilizes blood sugar and provides long-lasting fuel. An ideal morning meal consists of high-quality protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates. Protein helps maintain steady energy levels and supports brain function, while healthy fats provide a slow-burning fuel source that keeps hunger and energy stable. Including whole foods such as eggs, avocado, nuts, seeds, Greek yogurt, or lean meats ensures that the body has the nutrients it needs to sustain focus and stamina. Another powerful strategy for optimizing morning energy is intermittent fasting. For some individuals, delaying the first meal of the day allows the body to remain in a fat-burning state, increasing metabolic efficiency and mental clarity. Those who practice intermittent fasting often report higher morning energy, improved focus, and reduced sluggishness compared to those who consume a heavy breakfast early in the day. The key is experimenting with different approaches to find what best supports personal energy needs. The role of movement, activating the body and mind for maximum energy. Physical movement in the morning is one of the most effective ways to increase energy, enhance circulation, and prime the nervous system for high performance. Even light activity, such as stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk, can significantly improve alertness, mood, and productivity. This is because movement stimulates the release of dopamine and endorphins, neurotransmitters that create a sense of motivation and well-being. One of the most powerful ways to activate the body in the morning is through dynamic movement exercises that engage multiple muscle groups. This could include bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, or jumping jacks, which increase heart rate and blood flow, providing an immediate energy boost. For those who prefer a gentler approach, breathwork combined with movement, such as Tai Chi or sun salutations, can invigorate the body without causing stress on the nervous system. The key to sustaining high energy throughout the day is incorporating movement into the morning routine, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes. This small habit has an outsized impact on vitality, ensuring that the body and brain are fully activated and ready to take on the day's challenges. Mastering energy is the key to unlocking peak morning performance. By optimizing sleep, prioritizing hydration, fueling the body with the right nutrients, and incorporating movement, anyone can transform their mornings into a time of effortless focus, motivation, and high achievement. Energy is not a mystery. It is a science, and those who understand how to cultivate it will always operate at their best. Chapter 13. The Power of Mindset, Cultivating Mental Resilience for Morning Success. The Psychology of a Strong Morning Mindset. The way a person begins their morning is not just about external habits and physical energy. It is deeply rooted in their mindset. The mind is the most powerful tool in shaping the trajectory of the day, and the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that dominate the first waking moments determine how the rest of the day unfolds. A weak mindset can sabotage even the most well-structured morning routine, while a strong, resilient mindset creates an internal foundation for consistent success. Those who cultivate the right mental attitude each morning experience greater focus, productivity, and overall well-being, while those who wake up with negative or scattered thoughts often struggle with motivation, indecisiveness, and lack of direction. Mindset is not just about positive thinking or forced optimism. It is about developing the mental resilience to handle challenges, maintain clarity, and take intentional action. Many people wake up overwhelmed by stress, doubt, or distractions, immediately checking their phones, engaging in self-defeating thoughts, or dreading the responsibilities of the day ahead. This mental state weakens their ability to take control of their morning, leaving them reactive instead of proactive. In contrast, those who consciously train their minds to start the day with purpose, gratitude, and focus experience an entirely different reality, one in which they feel empowered, capable, and in control of their outcomes. Developing a strong morning mindset requires understanding the subconscious patterns that influence thoughts and behaviors. The first few minutes after waking up are the most impressionable because the brain is transitioning from deep sleep to full consciousness, making it highly susceptible to mental conditioning. The thoughts that enter the mind during this period set the tone for the entire day, which is why intentional mental conditioning in the morning is one of the most powerful ways to transform one's life. Those who seize this window of opportunity by directing their thoughts toward empowerment, success, and resilience unlock a level of morning energy and motivation that most people never experience. Rewriting. Limiting beliefs, the first step to mental mastery. Many people struggle with mornings not because they lack discipline, but because they hold subconscious beliefs that undermine their motivation and confidence. If someone believes they are not a morning person, they will reinforce behaviors that validate that identity, such as hitting snooze, feeling sluggish, and struggling to wake up. Similarly, if they believe mornings are stressful, exhausting, or unproductive, their actions will reflect that belief. These subconscious narratives act as invisible barriers, preventing people from making lasting changes to their routines. The first step in cultivating a powerful morning mindset is identifying and rewriting limiting beliefs that create resistance. This requires self-awareness, recognizing the thoughts and internal dialogue that arise upon waking. Are they thoughts of dread, frustration, or doubt? Do they focus on obligations, worries, or past failures? These patterns must be actively disrupted and replaced with new beliefs that empower rather than hinder. One of the most effective ways to reprogram morning beliefs is through affirmations and mental visualization. Instead of allowing negative thought loops to dominate the first moments of the day, consciously repeating empowering statements can shift the internal dialogue. Statements like, "I wake up energized and focused," "I control my mornings, and my mornings control my success," or "I am capable of achieving my goals today," reinforce a new mental framework that supports rather than sabotages. When paired with visualization, mentally rehearsing a successful morning, and imagining oneself moving through the day with confidence and purpose, this practice rewires neural pathways, making it easier to sustain high performance each morning. The power of gratitude and intentional thought direction. Gratitude is one of the most underrated but scientifically proven tools for improving mental resilience and morning energy. When a person begins their day focusing on what they lack, what they fear, or what stresses them, They activate the brain's threat response system, increasing cortisol levels and reinforcing a negative state of mind. However, when they start the morning with a conscious practice of gratitude, their brain shifts into an entirely different mode, one of possibility, abundance, and resilience. Practicing gratitude in the morning can be as simple as listing 3 things to be grateful for upon waking. These do not have to be profound or life-changing. Small moments of appreciation for health, relationships, opportunities, or even something as simple as fresh air and sunlight can shift the mind into a state of positivity. Over time, this practice conditions the brain to seek and recognize the good in every morning, reducing stress and enhancing motivation. Intentional thought direction goes beyond gratitude. It involves consciously choosing the mental narrative for the day. Instead of allowing automatic, reactive thoughts to dictate the morning, a person can take control by asking powerful questions such as, what am I excited about today? How can I make today productive and meaningful? What is my top priority? These questions guide the brain towards solutions and opportunities, preventing it from defaulting to stress, procrastination, or negativity. Emotional resilience, handling stress before it starts. One of the biggest mindset challenges in the morning is dealing with stress before it even begins. Many people wake up already feeling anxious about their responsibilities, deadlines, or potential problems. This mental state drains energy and reduces cognitive performance, making it harder to maintain focus and motivation. The key to overcoming morning stress is developing emotional resilience, the ability to navigate challenges without becoming mentally or emotionally overwhelmed. Breathing exercises and mindfulness techniques are some of the most effective ways to regulate stress levels in the morning. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, also known as box breathing or the 4-7-8 method, can quickly shift the nervous system out of a stress response and into a state of calm alertness. Taking just a few minutes to focus on breathing, slowing the heart rate, and centering the mind can create mental clarity and emotional stability before tackling the day's challenges. Another key to emotional resilience in the morning is detaching from external stressors. Many people begin their day by immediately checking emails, social media, or news, exposing themselves to negative information and external demands before they have even established their own mental foundation. This reactive habit conditions the brain to prioritize external pressures over internal control. Developing a morning boundary, a set period where personal mindset work takes priority before engaging with the outside world, ensures that one's mental state is dictated by intention rather than outside circumstances. A powerful morning begins not with external routines, but with an internal transformation of mindset. Those who learn to direct their thoughts, rewrite limiting beliefs, practice gratitude, and build emotional resilience create a mental framework for success that extends far beyond their mornings. They move through their days with greater confidence, productivity, and purpose, no longer controlled by stress or self-doubt, but driven by clarity and intention. Mastering the morning mindset is not an overnight process. It requires consistent mental training, self-awareness, and conscious effort. But for those who commit to this process, the rewards are immeasurable. They no longer wake up as victims of circumstance, but as architects of their reality, empowered to take control of their time, energy, and success. The most successful people in the world are not just those with the best habits, but those with the strongest minds, and that transformation begins the moment they wake up. Chapter 14. Mastering the Evening for Morning Success. The Art of Nighttime Preparation. The overlooked truth: mornings start the night before. The secret to a powerful morning does not begin with the sound of an alarm or the first sip of coffee. It begins the night before, in the final moments before sleep, when the subconscious mind is most receptive, when decisions about energy, focus, and success are silently being made. Many people fail in their morning routines, not because they lack discipline in the morning itself, but because they fail to set themselves up for success the night before. A chaotic, unplanned, and unstructured evening leads to a sluggish, unfocused, and stressful morning. On the other hand, a strategic and intentional nighttime routine becomes a foundation upon which the morning is built, ensuring that the body is well rested, the mind is clear, and the spirit is prepared to embrace the new day. Evening preparation is about more than just sleep. It is about mentally closing the chapter of today so that tomorrow begins with clarity and purpose. It is about making decisions in advance so that energy is not wasted in the morning on small, unnecessary choices. It is about conditioning the subconscious mind to work overnight on solving problems, reinforcing goals, and preparing for success. Those who master their evenings do not wake up feeling lost or unprepared. They wake up with a sense of direction, free from the distractions and anxieties that plague those who fail to plan. The difference between those who win the morning and those who struggle through it is often determined by what happens in the final 2 hours before bed. The science of sleep. Maximizing rest for peak performance. At the core of an effective evening routine is high-quality sleep. While most people focus on the number of hours they sleep, the true key to waking up energized lies in the quality of sleep cycles rather than just duration. The human brain moves through several stages of sleep each night, with deep sleep and REM sleep being the most critical for mental and physical restoration. Deep sleep allows the body to repair muscles, consolidate energy, and regulate hormones, while REM sleep is essential for memory consolidation, problem solving, and emotional processing. Missing out on these crucial sleep stages leads to grogginess, poor cognitive function, and reduced motivation in the morning, no matter how long a person stays in bed. One of the most common mistakes people make is exposing themselves to artificial blue light from screens before bed. Phones, computers, and televisions emit light that disrupts the body's production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep cycles. When melatonin levels are suppressed, falling asleep becomes harder, sleep quality is reduced, and morning wakefulness becomes a struggle. The solution is simple but requires discipline. A screen-free wind-down period at least 1 hour before bed. Using dim lighting, reading a physical book, or practicing relaxation techniques instead of scrolling through social media or watching stimulating content can make a dramatic difference in sleep quality and morning energy levels. Another crucial factor in maximizing sleep quality is temperature regulation. The body's core temperature needs to drop slightly to initiate deep sleep, which is why keeping the bedroom cool between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, can significantly improve sleep depth. A warm bath or shower before bed can also accelerate this process by increasing blood circulation and triggering a natural cooling effect afterward, helping the body transition smoothly into deep sleep. Mental closure, preparing the mind for tomorrow's success. Beyond sleep quality, a truly successful morning depends on how well the mind is prepared for the following day. Many people struggle with restless nights because their brains remain active, processing unfinished tasks, unresolved stressors, and endless thoughts about what needs to be done. This mental clutter prevents true relaxation, making it difficult to wake up with clarity and focus. The solution lies in intentional nighttime reflection and planning. One of the most effective ways to prepare the mind for the next day is the practice of journaling or mental debriefing. Taking a few minutes before bed to write down key thoughts, wins, lessons learned, and unfinished tasks helps create a sense of closure for the day. Instead of carrying stress and uncertainty into sleep, the brain processes information in a structured way, allowing it to move into deeper, uninterrupted rest. Additionally, writing down the top 3 priorities for the next day provides the subconscious mind with clear instructions, increasing the likelihood of waking up with motivation and direction. Visualization is another powerful nighttime practice. Before falling asleep, mentally rehearsing a successful, productive morning can program the brain to wake up in an empowered state. Studies show that the subconscious mind continues working on problems overnight, and by planning positive, intentional thoughts before sleep, one can wake up with newfound clarity and readiness to act. The power of evening rituals. Creating a personal wind-down routine. Developing a structured evening routine is one of the most powerful ways to take control of the morning. A well-designed wind-down routine should include activities that signal the brain that it's time to slow down, detach from stress, and prepare for deep sleep. While the specific activities may vary from person to person, the key is consistency. Engaging in the same series of actions each night conditions the body and mind to transition smoothly into rest. One of the best practices for an effective evening routine is reading physical books that inspire or educate. Unlike digital screens, books do not emit blue light, and they encourage mental relaxation rather than overstimulation. Choosing books that reinforce personal growth, success principles, or positive mindsets allows the final thoughts before sleep to be constructive and empowering. Another powerful ritual is meditation or breath work. Taking just 5 to 10 minutes to focus on slow, controlled breathing, mindfulness, or guided relaxation can lower stress hormones, calm racing thoughts, and prepare the nervous system for deep sleep. Meditation is especially effective for those who struggle with overthinking before bed, as it helps quiet the mind and redirect focus to the present moment. The most successful individuals understand that mornings do not exist in isolation. They are directly shaped by the quality of the night before. Those who take control of their evenings do not struggle with sluggish, unproductive mornings. They wake up feeling refreshed, mentally clear, and ready to execute their goals. They do not leave their sleep quality to chance or allow chaotic nighttime habits to sabotage their energy levels. Instead, they master their nights, ensuring that every morning begins from a place of strength, not struggle. Mastering the evening requires commitment and discipline, but the rewards are undeniable. The difference between an average morning and a powerful morning is often determined long before the sun rises. Those who optimize their sleep, clear their minds, and prepare for success before bed wake up with an advantage that compounds over time. The transformation begins not when the alarm rings, but in the quiet moments of the night when choices are made that dictate the success of the day ahead. Chapter 15. The Unstoppable Power of Morning Success. A Life Transformed, the Journey of Transformation. From Routine to Mastery. Mastering the morning is more than a simple shift in daily habits. It is a transformation that ripples through every aspect of life, shaping success, resilience, and personal fulfillment in ways that are both profound and permanent. The process begins with a single decision: to take control of the first hours of the day. But over time, it evolves into something greater, a force that determines the trajectory of one's health, career, mindset, and relationships. The people who consistently dominate their mornings do not just experience better days, they experience better lives. They wake up with purpose, move with intention, and cultivate the discipline that separates extraordinary individuals from the masses. It is easy to underestimate the power of morning success because the effects are not always immediate. At first, the shift may feel subtle: a slight increase in energy, a greater sense of clarity, a newfound ability to resist distractions. But with time, these small advantages compound, strengthening the mind, sharpening focus, and building momentum that propels an individual forward in ways they never imagined. A strong morning creates a foundation of consistency, and consistency creates excellence. The people who achieve greatness in their fields, whether in business, athletics, art, or personal growth, are those who understand that winning the day begins with winning the morning. But this transformation is not just about success in the conventional sense. It is about freedom. The freedom to wake up without anxiety, to step into each day feeling prepared, to cultivate a sense of peace and control over one's time. It is about breaking free from the cycle of rushing, reacting, and regretting, and stepping into a state of proactive living. Morning mastery is the key to building a life of intentionality, one where each day is designed with clarity, not dictated by external pressures. The journey may begin with small changes: a structured wake-up time, a healthier breakfast, an intentional morning mindset. But those changes lead to something far greater: a life that is fully, powerfully owned. The ripple effect: how mornings shape every aspect of life. The power of a well-structured morning extends far beyond the first few hours of the day. Every habit, every decision, and every moment of discipline in the morning shapes the way a person approaches challenges, opportunities, and relationships. When an individual begins the day with clarity, energy, and focus, they make better choices in every area of their lives. They eat healthier, engage in deeper conversations, produce higher quality work, and respond to stress with resilience instead of frustration. Morning success does not just improve productivity, it enhances emotional intelligence, mental toughness, and physical well-being. One of the most profound ways morning mastery transforms life is in mental and emotional stability. Those who cultivate strong morning routines consistently report lower levels of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. This is because intentional morning habits, such as meditation, exercise, and journaling, prime the brain for emotional regulation. Instead of waking up and being immediately bombarded with external demands, individuals who own their mornings create space for self-reflection, gratitude, and mindfulness. They train their minds to respond, not react. As a result, they carry this inner calm into their interactions throughout the day, improving relationships and fostering a sense of groundedness, even in the face of challenges. Beyond mental clarity, morning routines play a critical role in long-term physical health. The way a person starts the day determines their energy levels, metabolism, and overall physical performance. Those who prioritize morning movement, whether through stretching, walking, weightlifting, or yoga, set themselves up for improved circulation, higher energy, and greater physical resilience. Similarly, those who begin the day with nutrient-dense meals instead of processed foods experience sustained energy, better digestion, and improved cognitive function. Over weeks, months, and years, these choices add up, leading to longer lifespans, reduced risk of chronic diseases, and greater physical vitality. Perhaps one of the most overlooked ways morning mastery changes lives is in goal achievement and personal success. The people who succeed at the highest levels are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the most consistent. They are the ones who wake up each morning and take action toward their goals, regardless of motivation. By establishing strong morning habits, individuals eliminate the unpredictability of willpower and ensure that success is built into their routines. They do not wait for the right time to pursue their dreams. They create the right time every single morning. Sustaining success: how to keep the momentum for life. The greatest challenge in morning mastery is not starting, it is sustaining. Many people begin their morning transformation with enthusiasm, only to fall back into old habits after a few weeks or months. The reason is simple. They rely on motivation rather than systems. Motivation is fleeting. It fluctuates based on mood, energy, and external circumstances. But systems, well-structured routines, clear priorities, and unwavering commitment create consistency, regardless of how one feels. One of the most effective ways to maintain morning success is through habit stacking and automation. When a morning habit is linked to an existing routine, it becomes effortless. For example, pairing meditation with morning coffee, exercise with listening to a podcast, or gratitude journaling with breakfast ensures that these success habits become as automatic as brushing one's teeth. The less friction there is in performing a habit, the more likely it is to stick. Another key to sustaining morning success is tracking progress and adjusting as needed. Life is dynamic, and rigid routines often fail in the long run. Instead of striving for perfection, individuals who maintain morning success adapt their routines to fit different seasons of life. They check in with themselves, analyze what's working, and make necessary modifications, whether through a habit tracker, a journal, or a simple self-reflection session at the end of each week. Reviewing progress keeps motivation alive and ensures that morning habits remain aligned with long-term goals. But perhaps the most important factor in sustaining morning mastery is deeply connecting with the why behind the routine. A person who wakes up early simply because they feel they should will eventually lose motivation. But someone who wakes up early because they know it makes them a better parent, a stronger leader, a healthier individual, or a more fulfilled human being will persist even when challenges arise. Success is not built on superficial goals. It is built on deep, personal purpose. The final shift from morning success to life mastery. Morning mastery is not just about waking up earlier or having a productive start to the day. It is about reclaiming life. It is about proving every single morning that personal growth, discipline, and intentionality are not abstract concepts, but lived realities. Those who commit to mastering their mornings do not just change their mornings, they change their identities. They become the kind of person who follows through, who takes control, who steps into each day with clarity and power. They become the kind of person who no longer drifts through life, but actively shapes it. For those who have embarked on this journey, the path forward is clear. Morning success is no longer a theory or an experiment. It is a way of life. The final chapter of this transformation is not written in a book, but in the daily choices of those who choose to live with intention, discipline, and unstoppable momentum.